Hello everyone. In this video, I really want to drive home the importance of Java being an object-oriented programming language and show you what would happen if we didn't have these objects to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with what we did in class. I'm going to continue with our 2D point. Let's go ahead and rewrite it. Now, our 2D point, what is its attributes? What comprises a 2D point? A 2D point is defined by an x and a y. Let's go ahead and make that a little bigger for you to read. Maybe 20. Alright, an x and a y. Now, I have to have some blueprints, some instructions about how to construct a 2D point. If I told you to make me a 2D point, what would you do? Would you make it 10, 10, 5, 5? Well, we don't need a default constructor, but let's go ahead and make one. Remember, constructors always have the same name as the class. No information. Typically, I think people would set it to 0 and 0. But if I told you to make me a 2D point at 10 and 5.1, you should be able to do that. So let's go ahead and make that constructor as well. I'm expecting a double, x, double, whatever. Alright, and I'm just doing this to show you again, to reiterate that variable names can be whatever you want. Alright, so here we have our 2D point. And it should compile soon, and awesome. Now, here's where the fun begins. Let's go ahead and make a line segment. And let's make another line segment. Actually, no, I think we can just continue with one line segment. Alright. What comprises a line segment? Well, let's talk about this in the 2D plane, right? A line segment is comprised of a start point and an end point. Now, if I did not have objects, if I couldn't work with objects, what would I have to do? I would have to do x1, right, the x value of my first point, y1, the y value of my first point, x2, y2. And then my line segment would have to have a constructor. And I had to pass it in all those values. Let's go ahead and do this. Just like that. And I assign the values. This is like a tongue twister for your fingers. Alright, right there. And then if I want to print out my line segment or see it, we could do that later. But here I have my first point, and here are my second point. Well, it's a lot easier to think about it in terms of objects. So what I'm going to do, I'm pretty sure there's a comment is F8. Alright. So now let's talk about in terms of objects. A line segment is defined by its start point and end point, or 2 points. So instead of using these primitive values, why don't I use the class I just created to create 2 points? Okay. So the class name is 2D points. So this line segment consists of 2 2D points. Right, one of them, which is called start. Let's call the other one finish. Or maybe end is better. And what should my constructor consist of? Well, to construct a line segment, you have one point and the other point, right? So I am going to take in 2 points. I expect it to be the start, and I expect this one to be the finish or end. but it doesn't really matter for a line segment. Alright, so look at how much code I wrote here. Look at how much code I wrote here. Wow, that's quite a difference. Even in this elementary type of code, it's a lot of difference. We'll see it even more when I make my triangle class. Alright. So if you think about a triangle, what does a triangle consist of? Well, a triangle consists of 3 line segments joined together, right? So, or 3 points joined together. 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and have line segments joining all of them. Now, we're not going to consider all those what-if scenarios. Let's just consider, let's say they give us a good triangle. Now, if I don't have a line segment, if I don't have a 2D point, what would I have to do? You got it. Primitive values. Private double x1. Private double. And you can see even my 150 typing speed is getting tired by doing this. X2. Weird flex, but okay. Alright. And during this time that I'm typing, my brain could be thinking. And programming is all about thinking. It's mostly thinking and very little typing. And I have to do all of this. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Alright, all that work to construct one triangle. Wow. Let's go ahead and comment that out. F8, I think. Oh, I don't like that. Is it a group comment? No. Alright. Now let's use objects. I could use the 2D points I created. I could use the line segment I created. Doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and use the 2D points. A triangle consists of 3 2D points, right? So private 2D point, let's say 1, doesn't really matter what we call them, 2, 3. And to construct a triangle, I just need to give it 3 points, and it'll do all the connecting for me. Because there's only one way to connect 3 points. Versus a quadrilateral. That's a lot more difficult. Convex and stuff. We're not going to get into that. So, 2D point. And let's do this. See how much we save typing. Alright, it's a lot easier to think about it in terms of objects. Alright, I hope this helps you understand and see the importance of object-oriented programming. It allows us to work with other things than primitive types, like double, float, long, short, int. We can work with things that actually matter, right? That are a little bit step above, like triangles, like points, right? I'll also make another video, so stay tuned for that one, further explaining and giving another example of the power of objects.